Hello everyone, you join us at the start of the first frame of the ladies singles final here at the BUCS 8 Ball Pool Championships 2015. Got a bit of a Cambridge reunion in the commentary box, former Cambridge University students, myself, Lawrence Shaw, and next to me Tom Sutton, but Tom's here given that he's at Sheffield and knows one of the players, Naomi Clare, and I am here, Sophie travels up on her own, her two biggest fans, her parents, who you may be able to see at some point in the front row. They come and watch her, but she just travels on her own from Cardiff Met. She's the reigning champion, definitely the player to beat here, absolute class act. But Naomi's had a good run. Can you give us a bit of background on her, Tom?
Yeah, Naomi also travels up here on her own. She came last year, and but Sheffield Hallam are quite a new society in terms of pool and things, so they only have a men's team that started a couple of years ago. They don't have a women's team yet, so she comes down here for the singles. And I'm trying to remember how she did last year. I think she maybe made the semis. I'm not sure, but
she's definitely had a good run this year. Her biggest scalp, that of the number 2 seed, last year's losing finalist to Sophie, and the champion the year before that, Jo Lanthal of Nottingham. So she's clearly a good player, and she's looking quite good at the start of this frame. There's a few balls tucked up in the middle there around the black, which there's going to have to be some work to get them out. But
yeah, I imagine there's a fair bit of distance left in this frame. But
both girls just trying to get the potting into gear at the moment.
Yeah, thanks. Cheers, Jill.
Sophie could well rule this tournament for years to come. She was at representing North Lindsey College last year, but now she's just started at Cardiff Met. If that's the start of a 3 or 4 year course, short of a miracle player coming along, I think she has to be the favourite going into any tournament she enters. She could very much create a legacy in women's student pool here, and retaining the title now would be a very good first step.
Definitely.
Bit tricky now. The yellows are all out the way from Naomi. She can see a final yellow. It doesn't go anywhere, and the black's pretty tied up as well. I think Sophie will be pretty happy with the way this frame started.
Yeah, she's played deliberate foul there, and
it's pretty safe. There's the red up at the top that goes, but there's plenty of work to do on these reds. I don't think many people would fancy clearing these with 2 visits, particularly not in a final.
Yeah, I'm not sure what she was trying to achieve. I think she just was wary of opening up the pack there and giving away 2.
Yeah, there's an argument it was a bit of a nothing shot, but I don't think it's too bad. Sophie will do very well to clear from here. Good start. I think she can see that run into the middle, and perhaps that opens things up. There's still the 2 reds.
We're sat right behind it, and it seems to. She's not queuing it, but I think she could queue the leftmost red as we look.
Yeah, that red flies in, but she's not going to be able to go into them off this. Lucky, good effort into the middle. She's got the second visit. I'm sure she'll just tie Naomi up here and
there's
wait for a chance.
About 100 snookers on at the moment. So.
Yeah, Sophie's definitely favourite for this frame. She's not got the snooker, but it's a perfectly safe shot. It brings the reds out into the open. I'm pretty certain the red just to the right of the black as we view it on the screen will go into the middle bag nearest to us. Certainly not an open game yet, but you can see that Sophie's just going to try and work this, and I suspect Naomi may have to pull off a big shot at some point if she wants to have any chance of winning this frame.
Yeah, she doesn't have to think about things too hard yet. What's her name again? Oh well, that's a stellar shot from Naomi there, that double.
And that's a cracking double.
I think she can definitely cue the black, and I think it will go to the top right. top right corner pocket
Yeah.
as we look. So this would be a bit of a steal from nowhere, really, because she looked in trouble in this frame, but
Great effort.
and she's just missed that. But
Puts the pressure on now. Naomi's given herself a real shot in a frame that I thought she'd potted herself into oblivion on.
yeah, definitely. No, I mean, there's still a lot of shots here, but there is pressure on this. It's a good shot.
Sensible shot.
Well, she doesn't seem happy with that, but
No,
she
I
does
think
have the snooker, but I think she wanted a bit tighter than that.
It's still a tricky black to knock in from here. It's far enough away from the pocket that it's not something that if you hit it, you're guaranteed to pot. I have a feeling that middle bag could be in the way of the natural angle as well. This is not nice.
And I think the leftmost red as we look is blocking the another natural escape angle for Naomi, so she can, well, it looks like she's trying to escape this, so no, she's
That's a foul.
not very close to that, but
Now to see if the champion can get her first frame on the board.
one good opening pot here to keep 2 shots, and it should all be okay from there.
Okay then, we're ready to go with the men's individual championship semi-final match.
Yeah, good pot. It's
a good
one
shot,
of the reds has
but
been flicked slightly awkward, but it plants. Even if she misses the plant, it'll be over the pocket. She'll fancy herself from here.
Yeah, a bit unfortunate on that, but still expect her to finish these from here too.
Stuart Burgess. And on table 33, Kyle Salmon from Bath versus Dan Devlin from Kent. The referee will be Steve Cox.
Yep, that'll do. Lands over the bag again. It's landed slightly awkward, but she can take the one over the pocket.
Yeah, I think she
she's
can.
still on for the clearance.
She can see it, and then she'll have a. And she might drop it in and play the one down the rail, in which case.
I'd be just pulling back for the one into the middle.
Yeah.
Oh no, she's played for the one.
That's a
just
good
down
shot.
the rail. Played it well. I suspect she'll just come through and play the next one into the near middle pocket.
Yeah.
This is missable.
I think she'll just drop it to the near middle, yeah. No, that's...
Yeah, it was bang tight on that cushion. It looks like it's near the bag there, but there's work that needs to be done to pot those. That's
yeah, I mean...
not a terrible miss. She'll be disappointed she's not clear from there, but it's
They're not necessarily hard shots though, but they are. There is pressure on them when they're on the rail like that, and your opponent's got a black over the
was
pocket.
it?
And that cue ball...
Oh dear.
Well, that's...
Well, I think Naomi got a little excited.
yeah.
Didn't think she'd get that second chance. Maybe just didn't take the time over it she needed. The champion's completely stolen the first frame, and I can only suspect that things are very likely to go her way from here on in. Naomi's going to have to pull something out the bag to turn it around after a first frame loss like that.
Yeah, no, that's... It's heartbreaking to go in off like that, although based on first frame performance, I think Naomi, in terms of the shots she played, was made less mistakes, but we'll see how it goes from here. It's obviously hard to come back
in normal
from that.
practice, if your head's right, you can shake that off. You know that you're playing well, you're cueing well, you're potting some good balls, but in the final, to recover from that kind of thing mentally against a player that you know is so good is going to be difficult. It'll be a real test of character, this. Dry break.
Yep.
Decent
No
split,
balls down.
but it's nothing went down.
Yeah, and it's...
I didn't expect that.
So still open table and 2 shots from Naomi, but it'd be hard to clear from here, I think, but she can certainly get to control the frame from here if she plays these well.
If Sophie's still thinking about a couple of the missed pots that she made in the first frame. She was clearly a little bit out of sorts in that, but
yeah,
you expect someone of her quality to come back firing. I'm sure she will hit form during this final.
Definitely. It always helps to have a bonus frame like that, how she won that in the first frame. But
clearly not quite found that form yet.
So that's an okay first shot from Naomi. I'd expect with where the rest of the red's set, she might just drop this over the pocket. But no, she's potted it. And
this is tricky from her.
She doesn't. She seems unhappy with that. I think
she can barely see that red nearest the middle bag. She can see the obviously see the red down on the bottom cushion on the left-hand side of the screen as we view it.
Yeah.
But there's no obvious shot in at all.
She's
good little safety. Oh, I forgot, of course. She's got 2 visits here because of Sophie's in-off.
I don't think
really sure what she was playing at in that case.
No, I think
maybe she did the same as me.
Yeah, it's amazing what, even at the top level, people forgetting that they have 2 visits. Yeah.
If the commentator can forget it, then I'm sure the players can. They're under a lot more pressure than we are.
That's not a bad shot from Sophie.
Yeah, but didn't see a clearance on. Decided to try and make one of the balls slightly easier. There's nothing on for the Reds here. It's far from a disastrous shot. Yes, she would have liked to have bagged it, but she got the main thing, and that's that Naomi has next to nothing on here. I think she's just going to have to clip off the red and go up table. Yeah, that's exactly what she's done.
Yeah, and she's opened up that pocket a bit more now and has the potential for playing a red over it at some point.
There's still a couple of balls tied up for both of them. There's the red and yellow on the bottom cushion and the red and yellow just at the top of the screen as we see it.
Yeah. This is definitely anyone's frame at the moment, but we'll see if anyone can pull ahead. So how many Yarmouths is this for you now?
This is my 7th.
7th, yeah.
Yep, 3 for Cambridge, 4 for Nottingham, and might be an 8th to come yet. We'll see how things go. You must have had a few by now.
Yeah, I had 2 at Cambridge because I only started in my 3rd year. That was my first Yarmouth, and now I've PhD at Sheffield, so this is my 3rd with Sheffield. And
5th?
Yeah, so
you're a veteran by most people's standards.
Yeah, so considering whether to make it 6 next year, but we'll see.
Yeah, exactly the same boat. That yellow's it's not over the bag in any true sense. It definitely covers all the reds that are around there. There's all 4 of the reds left on the table are tied up, and well, even though there's only 5 yellows on, they all seem to be nicer. It seems to be a table awash with yellows, in spite of the fact that there's only 1 more of them. They're in so much of a nicer position. So yet again, Naomi finds herself a little bit up against it. She'll love that to have just stayed over the bag. Nice, he's still in an eminently possible place, but just that little bit more awkward for getting position on if she wants to use that red later in the game.
Yeah, this is...
Sophie's going for the bag here.
That's a good
She's
shot.
got that wonderful.
That'll count well for her later. But
yeah, yellow's already had the advantage.
Yeah.
It's definitely Sophie's frame now.
Yeah, these tactical frames, they always, even though yellows are ahead, but they always come down to a point where somebody has to clear, and clearances can be missed.
Tactics can only give you the upper hand. You've still got to finish a frame off, haven't you?
Yep, absolutely.
She's perhaps trying to coax her into potting this yellow near the bag here.
Yeah.
I think she's just going to try and bag it.
If she bags this one, then she's in a... Yeah, that's a very good shot.
Beautiful shot.
Yep. Lots of work to be done for Reds now.
The potting might not be quite where she wants it yet, but her tactics are spot on. And again, that's why she wins so many matches at this level.
So I mean, as yellows now coming to the table, you just want to get all your awkward yellows out into nice positions so that when...
Yeah. Because it's not just the two reds that are awkward. The black's really awkward as well if you're reds.
Because at the moment, if Naomi played a deliberate foul or something, potted one of the yellows, it wouldn't be...
Yeah, that's a beautiful shot.
Yeah, that's a good shot. That's made the black and two yellows much nicer.
Opens everything up. There's one tricky yellow there, but there's a couple of nice ones over the bag to help that out. And Naomi's in real trouble here.
Just a reminder that after the individual men's men's finals will be doing the presentation and official photography. All medalists are required to be in dress code.
Good shot.
So if you haven't changed.
Doesn't look like that red's moved much, but he's in such a nicer place now rather than being
she can
nearer
pot
to
that
that
from
cushion.
many more places on the table now. So.
There's still the issue of the two reds down here, though, and she's definitely relying on Sophie making a mistake if she wants to win this round.
Yeah, the best chance of Naomi winning this is Sophie making a mistake on a clearance. Really
good start from Sophie there. And she may well either knock this one in the middle and then look to bag this, or I think she may just bag this straight away, get it back to that advantage she had before, but just with one less awkward ball on the table.
Yeah, or she could maybe taken the opportunity there to get her other bad yellow out, but cause
the issue with that is that this pocket nearest to us was still open.
Yeah, that's true.
So, and she's seen that Naomi can pot. She's definitely a class potter. You can see how she's made the final already with the way that she's queuing balls in. Just
that's
getting herself a little behind in frames by going for things maybe too soon. But if it's a natural game, I can't blame her for doing it.
Yeah, that's not an awful shot from Naomi. That gives her something to think about, and potentially if Sophie makes a mistake, it gives her a chance to maybe play a good shot to get back in the frame. But
Sophie's certainly. I'd just bag this yellow again into that same bag. I know the red goes into the corner pocket, but that other one near the yellow is so awkward.
Yeah.
Particularly if you cover this other bag as well, it gives you such a huge advantage in this frame. I'd be amazed if she did anything else. Yeah, that's the way I wanted to make absolutely certain she didn't pot it.
Yeah.
Can't blame someone for doing that early in a final, particularly when you can tell that she's not quite had that chance to really pot ball. That's unlucky.
Not what was intended, but
she really needed that bag tight, so she had to play that as fine as possible. Always gives you the risk of potting the red.
Yeah, if that red had just stayed over and without dropping, then Naomi would have gone favourite for the frame. But as it is,
given how well Naomi's potting, is there an argument for just bringing this red out into the open and asking the question of Sophie here? I know she's the champion. I know that she'd normally take these out, but this is a final, and this is.
I think I don't think it's a bad shout, because the two yellows closest to the corner bags are.
She's going to have to do it now.
Are not as easy. They're not as easy as they look. Like they are tight to the cushions. So you do need you.
It's so easy to run out of position when you're dealing with balls on the cushion.
Exactly. Yeah.
You don't have to flick too far out.
And Sophie's looked just a little bit unknown. I don't know if she's a bit nervous at the start, but she in the first frame she probably wasn't as clinical as she normally is. So yeah, Naomi could just bring this red out. But she's played something else there.
I think she was trying to just tuck him behind that yellow for a deliberate foul, which would have been a brilliant shot if it had come off. But the one thing she has got here is she's given Sophie two visits. Sophie he's almost forced into trying to go for this.
Yeah, it's
in some ways. This
2
is,
visits with 1 bad ball. She should really be going for it, but again, this can go wrong. So, but
she's going to have to do something to make this happen.
yeah, and so I think now she's not on the other yellow, so she will bring out her bad yellow here, and just has to make sure that she's on something.
Plant this into the other yellow, the red will pop out.
Yeah, if there's enough distance, then that can be done. But
I thought there was a chance that yellow might.
That's unlucky. She's just stuck to that yellow, and I don't think she's really got much of a shot here. So I think if she can just not foul and bring the white somewhere up past the black up table, then Naomi won't really have much of a shot, as far as I can see.
Oh, I've seen that Naomi can knock in a double.
Yeah,
I'd be to either another one
after the last frame. Yeah, Naomi had gotten a winning position from nowhere, really. So
good effort.
So from the looks of it, that's okay. I don't know if there's enough room for Naomi to do something with that red. But
does it sneak in, flicking off the other yellow?
It may well do, but
that's not a shot that you'd ideally want to try at this stage and in a final. But
not at all.
I think it may be the only thing on, and if you pot it, it's a frame winner.
I mean, another potential frame winner would, if it's on, is the cross double to the top left corner, but I think it'd be hard to avoid the double contact.
I think that's a double kiss every time.
Yeah, that's
not a shot. The only way you can avoid the double kiss is to play it with lots of top, and then you'd be running in.
No, if this shot is on, then this is the right shot. But
unlucky.
So I mean, that does put Naomi in an awkward position, although it does prolong the frame somewhat. So she's not completely dead and buried in this frame yet. But yeah, that's the right shot.
Yellow's nicely out in the open. Red's in all sorts of bother.
There's no deliberate foul on here for Naomi.
She may be forced into it. There's an argument that the only shot on is to plant these and maybe screw the white back onto the cushion, just to leave it as awkward as possible on this other yellow. But it's a horrible situation to be left in.
This is just a situation of you are going to give your opponent a chance. It's just giving them as hard a chance as possible. And if that yellow drops in, that's not a bad shot from Naomi. That's about.
If that yellow drops in though, and goes to the other side of that red, that is absolutely perfect.
I think she might have left.
So close.
I think she's left a foul snooker, if I'm honest, but I don't think it's been called.
No chance.
Oh, I didn't think that.
It was never going to matter anyway. Realistically, that was always the shot to just blast that out, bring this yellow out here. I'm pretty certain the black sneaks past the red, so as long as Sophie lands on it,
I'm not sure about the angle here. I think if she plays this, she might have to watch the middle pocket, but I think she'll be all right. No, she's fine. Yep. Very good shot.
Played it into the middle. Nice and easy. So they're going to, in spite of a couple of scares, the champions 2-0 up and
race to 4. So
put her opponent under massive pressure now. Go then. 2 more frames needed to secure back-to-back titles for Sophie Gibbs-Nicholls in her first 2 years of university pool.
Yep. So dry break, but and
the thing is, these reds look tempting, but very difficult. I can see this frame going exactly the same way as the last two.
yeah, this is certainly not the easiest clearance from here. I don't think Naomi will be clearing from here.
You can envisage Naomi potting
But I do think reds.
3 or 4 reds.
I think reds are definitely the colour to take. She's got 3 yellows.
A couple of them tied up.
So she's presumably got an idea of how to make yellows into a better colour. But
certainly not a situation where reds were miles better than yellows, but I'd have just about been looking at taking them there.
and
Reds looked in a nicer position to build a tactical frame, and have a feeling that Sophie may well just try and knock one over the bag here.
yeah, she's got a good opportunity to do that with the bottom left red as we look. But I think Naomi would have liked it if that yellow had just approached the bag a little bit more and covered the pocket.
Take that one in the middle a bit. Is she perhaps looking to do something with that awkward one on the cushion?
Yeah.
No, she's taking that one over the pocket.
So I'm not sure if she played to play this red on the cushion down the rail to cover the pocket, but
nice little dolly snooker though, coming up now. Maybe that was the plan, to just tuck in behind it, leave this one over the middle bag.
Looks like she's queuing to.
Yeah, she's going down the line.
Yeah, I think she tried it, but the pace she played it at, I'm not really sure what she was hoping for. But
I think, given how well she's played tactically in the first 2 frames, in that she certainly had the better of the tactical exchanges, it seemed a little reckless going for them like that. But
Naomi's got a great chance here to just get on top of this frame. If she plays the far left yellow over that bag, then this becomes a very tricky frame for reds.
I still don't like the look of that yellow near the black and 2 reds though.
Yeah, she'll have to do something.
I don't think it goes anywhere, and for that reason alone I still make Sophie favourite for this frame.
I'm not sure what Naomi was thinking there, because she's
possibly sneaked into the middle.
She wasn't playing for a pot, because she's not on I don't see what pot she could have been playing for. So she must have been playing for some other.
Does the yellow near the black sneak into that far mid pocket?
It might do, but she isn't playing it. I don't think that's what she played for.
Even if it does, there's no position of it.
Yeah. I think maybe she wanted to come out a little bit more and play one of those 2 yellows past the reds at the corner pocket, but as it is, that's left an opportunity here for Sophie to.
Well, it's 2 opportunities to cover this bag up, isn't it?
Yeah.
She may well just go for the plan to pot it first time and bag the second red, but potted off the first one. I think this is going straight over the pocket.
Yeah, you don't want to be potting from here really, because the clearance is certainly not straightforward from here with that middle red in the cluster.
Oh, she's tied that bag up
and that's
beautifully.
Been played to perfection. Yeah. So Naomi's got her back against the wall again here in this frame.
Yeah.
So that's not a bad shot, because
well, it leaves Sophie snooping on all reds other than
So
her
she'll either have
banker,
to,
if you will.
She'll either have to find an escape, deliberate foul, or pot that red, all of which potentially give Naomi a chance to get back into this frame.
She might just be able to clip this red near the middle pocket.
Yeah, she could
she
hit it.
Could see a
hit
lot
it
more
very
of that
cleanly.
than I thought.
Yeah.
We're blessed with exactly the same angle as you are up here in the commentary booth, so some of these shots we've not quite got the angle to see exactly what's going on.
I think she played the pot there and it's missed by a long way, but that has tied up even more, well, that other red in that cluster of 2 near the middle of the table. So.
She's got free rein to have a pop at this one to the middle, though. The red definitely doesn't. I'm pretty certain that red doesn't go to the corner, the one that's the other side of that yellow. But even now, if she doesn't want to take on this red, she can take on the one on the cushion, get that over her bag. It's just yet another awkward ball that's brought into a nice place, and again, Gibbs-Nicholls has got the better of the tactical exchanges.
Yeah,
good shot.
It's fine for Sophie.
It was a good effort, but even with that, I wouldn't fancy being yellows here. I have a feeling Sophie might just come cushion first and try and kick that red out into the open. The 2 yellows near that red are so horrible that even if she makes a bit of a meal of it and fouls,
that red's her only issue now. If she gets that in the open, then this is an extremely tough frame for Naomi to win. She looks like she's queuing up to pot this, so I think that the red that's tied up must go to the far middle pocket as we look, or to the bottom left corner, but I
think she was trying to play into them then.
Yeah. Well, if it doesn't go somewhere, then I think that's
she's looking at it into the top corner, so the angle suggests that it definitely doesn't go into the bottom left corner as we see it. Whether it goes into the far middle or far corner.
So, I mean, barring a very good clearance here, I think that was a slightly ambitious attempt, really. And that could give Naomi a chance in this frame. So she's played into it again, and she's got a nudge, but I don't think it's enough to make it available to the middle pocket. No, maybe it is. She's lining it up, so...
Even if it goes this, it's far from simple.
Yeah. This is definitely a tough shot. And I think the cue ball will be... I think it will go in and out of the bulk area, and I don't think the black will... I don't think you're guaranteed to be on a nice black after this, so... Yeah, so that was a very tough shot from there.
Well, she hit it too thin anyway, but the white was flying everywhere.
And now Naomi has a very easy snooker on, so I'm sure she'll take. Yep. So I don't know if she's run a bit farther, but
yeah, definitely.
She doesn't like it.
She's desperate to get into this match.
I mean, it's still
so awkward for her that she's been potting pretty well, but she hasn't picked up out of those first 2 frames in. It's really put her in an awkward position. She can't afford to go 3-0 down.
Yeah, that first frame has really affected her, I think.
Great pot.
That's a fantastic pot, and this would really hurt to...
Naomi may have missed the snooker, but she can't have expected Sophie to pot that and then land nicely on the black as well.
After missing that snooker, this will hurt a lot if this black goes in.
Ooh.
So
the mistake hasn't been completely punished, but
yeah, you'd have to think
if Sophie's still in the stronger position. That was a magical red.
It was fantastic pot. I really expected her to knock that black in after that red, but Naomi can't really afford any more mistakes from here in this frame. So these yellows will clear. She just has to. That's not a bad first shot. That's pretty good.
She'd possibly like to have been a little higher on this yellow, but it goes.
She's definitely got shots available to keep position. She's kind of landed a bit betwixt and between there, yeah. So
I think it's got to be the double. If you get the double in, it's a straight yellow into the middle bag straight after that. And I think this double is dead set as well.
Yeah, that's a very good shot.
Beautiful shot. Just pulled it a little
Yeah,
bit too far
she
back.
would have liked if she was straight on this yellow, she'd be in perfect shape. But as it is, the cue ball is going to be moving. I think she might have to go in and out of the. No. Oh,
it goes.
That has just pulled up and to give her a shot, but again,
I think that's fine. I don't think this is anywhere near as thin as it potentially
2-0
looks on
down
the
though.
screen,
I
but
would maybe like it a bit easier than this, but I think she'll knock this in.
very nice. 2-1. We have a game in our hands.
And that is under the circumstances. That's a very good clearance from Naomi, I think. So, yeah, we'll see how that will affect Sophie. But I think missing a black, losing a frame where you've missed a black is always hard. So.
And she'll have expected to knock that in every time, particularly after the red before. That was an absolutely superb shot.
Yeah. And from 3-0 up, I couldn't expect that she'd lose from there. But now it's certainly a game. So, balls down off the break, and
there's a couple of awkward balls of each colour. There's one yellow that's horrible. There's a couple of reds that are awkward but not out of the question.
Yeah, it's not the worst split, but it's...
The yellow just behind the black as we look is absolutely horrible, otherwise I'd be tempted to go with Dan. I think as it is...
I think, yeah, yellows certainly have one bad ball, but I think yellows are probably still what I'd opt for here, but... It's just, if you do, finding an opener... No, it looks like she's...
I don't blame you for taking reds at all here. I don't think I'd have taken reds as well.
Yeah.
The double specialist might have to come out again.
Yeah, or I think she can play this yellow that's on the rail. She can play it all the way down to the far right of the table and maybe cover the bag, which would be quite valuable. Although the cueing is horrible on this shot, so but it's what she's played, and she's not got it in the jaws. So.
And that's landed horribly because that red's pretty safe now.
Yeah,
tight on that cushion.
Although yellows still are not in a prime position to be cleared, so we'll see what Sophie can do with this visit.
It's definitely another frame in which she has developed the early advantage.
Yep.
Purely from that red going to the cushion afterwards.
She's
if
not
it
even
had
played
been
a
anywhere
shot
near
yet.
the bag.
Ooh, she's not got enough of the jaws on that, and if Naomi was able to drop this red over the bag, she'd be quite pleased with her position in this frame, I think. But it's dropped, and
well, she's got a shot on this one in the middle.
She does.
If she lands on there is the awkward red that we can see just behind the black, but it goes in the middle pocket, and the frame that 5 seconds ago was saying was very much in favour of yellows could turn on its head.
There's the outside chance of a clearance here, and
cracking pot,
and she's just missed the development on that red, which I assume is what she played.
I think she has come far enough though that she can get back down there again.
She has done, and I think it will go to the far middle as we look. It's a tough shot, but I think if you get on it, it will. But, she's missed that pot by quite a way. I think she was trying to get straight into them and develop off a screwback, but didn't come off. So. As it is, yellows are not. I'd say that Sophie is definitely favourite for this frame, but yellows are at the moment not in a great spot, so she'll probably pot through some of her awkward balls, and
she might even play a little snooker here. she's not too... No, just good shot. Puts that one over the bag. I don't think there's any value with it being there. I think she might as well pot it now and use it for decent position on another ball, even if she just uses it to come across for this other yellow and stick that over the bag.
Yeah.
I think that's what she's likely to do. There's not an obvious positional shot off this yellow, so I have a feeling she'll just play it nice and soft, cover that bag, and try and force Naomi to do something with these remaining reds.
Yeah, it becomes a hard frame for Naomi with just 2 balls left on the table, both of which aren't.
Once again, she's covered her bag perfectly.
Yeah, she's been excellent at that, and throughout this whole match hasn't put a foot wrong in that department. But now Naomi's in trouble, as basically whatever shot she plays will be developing the bad yellows of Sophie. And that
red's gone safe as well. So Sophie, does that yellow fly into the corner? I don't think it does, but she can push it over towards that part of the table anyway. And it gives her a distinct advantage in this frame. I think she was looking to come up and down the table with that. But
yeah, it's always hard when they're close to the pocket like that. But she's still okay in this frame. I think she might play some sort of plant here. Like I don't think she'd play it to pot it, but there's a possibility.
You know what, that plant's makeable.
Yeah.
And I think it'd send the red safe as well on
Yeah,
that same cushion that the other red's tied up on.
Yeah, well, I'm not sure if I don't think she played it, but
certainly not a disastrous shot. That's the way Naomi's been doubling. I wouldn't be surprised if she ends up
and to be fair,
bringing this back across.
The double would potentially take her into...
Would it take her into that yellow as a stopper and leave her the red into
may well do.
Bottom left corner as we look at it?
The white
that would be ambitious for a final.
Yeah.
That'd be an awesome shot to play in a final.
I mean, the white, if she plays this double, the white is going to be racing off of the red she hits, but it's hard to know what could happen. But she has played it and she's got it. But,
it's there.
And I think
that
she's on the red at least to the middle.
Even going to the corner.
Yeah. So this would be a fantastic steal of a frame from...
That is a quality back double, and I think this goes into the corner bag.
That's been
there?
confidently played, and it's there. And this is certainly the clearance of the match so far, I think, assuming that this straight black goes in. But
hello, 2-2, game on.
This is turning into a very nice match, so it's good nerve shown from Naomi to come back from 2-0 down after going in off on the first black in the first frame. So he's a very gritty competitor. But she's always on the Guinness when she plays her matches.
Our cameraman's just brought up
probably Guinness
a nice
number 4.
shot
I'm not sure, but she was
of the women's trophy in the top corner of your screen there. It's Sophie Gibbs-Nicholls at the moment, but the way these last 2 frames have gone, we've got a real final on our hands now. And could it be going to Sheffield?
Naomi is technically Sheffield Hallam, although we've sort of adopted her as our own in the Sheffield society.
I was referring to the city rather than the university, but I should give Hallam University its due, given that this is a university tournament.
As Sheffield, we're quite happy to not give Sheffield Hallam their due. So,
Momentum's with Naomi now. I'm still backing the champion here, though.
Yeah, it's hard not to, really, but Naomi certainly will put up a fight. So Yeah, I was saying, I'm not sure, I think she's probably on Guinness number 4 for the day. She was certainly drinking them during her semi, but it's her drink of choice.
Confidence is flowing now. Be flowing in me if I'd knocked in that clearance.
So are you still in the men's singles competition? Or?
Oh no. I had a good fun last 1-2-8 match, but didn't live up to my seeding. Got a tough draw against Lancaster captain Alex Smith in the 64s. Very subdued game, given what you'd expect from the two fan bases. And I'm not a man who deals with subdued games particularly well. That old issue of my poor temperament coming back to haunt me. I need a crowd to play up to. How did you do, Tom?
Oh, not very well this year. No, I went out first round, but it's the first time in a couple of years actually. But yeah, if I come back next year, I hope to do better in the singles. But yeah, it must be hard for. I've often thought it hard for people like Naomi and Sophie who come on their own. I mean, obviously Sophie's got her mum and dad here, but
yeah, well,
it must be hard without a good fan base.
At least Naomi's got a fan base with the Sheffield Hallam fellas and the Sheffield University team as well.
We've been doing our best, to support her through. But
there is an argument that there's an advantage to just having your parents come down with you. You've got that fan base, you've got those people that you can sound off. She knows a few people around here as well. I believe she plays on the same county team as Jo Lenthal, or certainly did for a long time before she moved to Cardiff. So she obviously knows a few of the girls down here and has a chat with them. But being able to maybe just go off with your parents for a meal in the evening, or not be completely soaked up in the atmosphere isn't necessarily the worst thing that a player can have.
So is this her second year at Great Yarmouth?
Second year at Great Yarmouth, going for a second title.
Yeah.
She burst onto the scene last year. Jo, who was champion and number 1 seed, told me from the start of the tournament that Sophie was a massive favourite to win the title. So it proved she beat Jo in the final. And she was on course to get to another quite comfortably in this final, but Naomi's played wonderfully well to come back into it.
Yeah, no, we certainly.
That said,
go either way now, but
we are once again in a situation where Sophie has the tactical advantage in a frame.
Yep, she's again covered a pocket with great precision, and Naomi's going to have to think about this. Because as it looks, none of the reds are really that difficult. And she's played a great pot there.
This sort of potting has got to put real pressure on an opponent. Sophie knows she can't afford to make any mistakes whatsoever. When she's going to cover these bags, she's having to get them perfect every single time.
Yeah.
Because Naomi's not missing a thing. Commentator's curse strikes again. She's not just missed that yellow, she's pocketed the white as well.
And this should not be any trouble for Sophie, really. I think she'll.
And this is a massive frame. Whoever takes a 3-2 lead in a race to 4 they've just got that little buffer for the next frame.
Just has to make sure she keeps position here and doesn't. She does have 2 shots, but
nice first pot though. Made sure she gave herself the angle. Come back, and yes, this is possibly slightly awkward, queuing a little near the cushion, but you can see that the white's more than far enough away to take this red. You want to top it through anyway, so that you can come onto the red into the opposite middle.
Yeah, and that'll leave you nicely on the other red, which only really doesn't go to the bottom left middle, obviously. So
yeah.
Oh well, she's maybe a little bit lower on this red than she'd have liked, because
she can pocket pinch though with the big bag. If all else fails, if she wants to leave that white in a similar place, just play this dead straight. Red goes in, flicking off the yellow, and she's still very much with the advantage in this frame.
Yeah, with the 2 shots, it's hard to see her not finishing these. Yep, just used that yellow there to...
Yeah, and he's now looking to play this red into the corner opposite the...
She doesn't need to play this hard at all, she'll just drop it.
She has covered.
Should land on the other red if it happens to miss, but I'm sure she won't miss this. Oh, well, I shouldn't have said that, but...
I saw the idea, stun across, make sure that you're not going into that red over the pocket or risk of potential in off. She's still in reasonable shape here. She can, I think she can pull back to take the red into the corner, and then the black will be on afterwards.
Yeah, doesn't look like she's playing with screw. She might play this with a bit of side, but we'll see where she ends up. But yeah, that's a very good shot. Just played it with some left hand side to widen the angle a bit, and she's landed perfect. So. Yeah, so just she'll bring this back probably to where the cue ball is now, and she'll be perfect.
Yeah, good shot. Easy to overshoot when the adrenaline's pumping in a final. But she's landed nicely on this black. Good clearance.
Very confident shot to finish the frame.
And in spite of some incredible potting from Naomi, it's the champion Sophie who takes a 3-2 lead in this final. She only needs one more to retain a title.
Yeah. There's quite a gathering that's formed now watching this match. I mean, there are some other matches going on alongside, but...
Yeah, we've got the men's semi-finals taking place in this part of the arena, but obviously the women's final takes priority, and hence is on the televised table.
It's yet another dry break. There's been quite a few this match, but... oh no, it's not. Sorry.
No, one of the reds has gone in.
A red has gone down. I missed that. Yeah. So. Yeah, I think reds are certainly the right colour here, with that one close to the bag at the bottom left, and also at the top left.
These are tough, particularly in a final at 3-2 down. But the way she's potted, I wouldn't even be surprised to see her take them out.
Yeah, and she's played a great first shot there to make this red available.
Even if she only bags this, it's a cracker.
Yeah,
she's going for it,
and that's a slightly loose shot there, I think. But yeah, I mean, one of her biggest problems, I think, would be the black ball, because the
black ball's in a really awkward position.
It technically goes, but to get on that, you'd have to play the positional shot of your life, I think. So.
Oh, I think she's going to have to play position on the black off the final ball, which is always risky. I don't think there's an obvious way of developing it beforehand. She's just going to have to drop this red in the middle now. That plant isn't set at all, is it?
But she has played a good pot there to keep this attempt alive. And
I'm not certain she's got a way of dealing with these final two reds, though.
Yeah, because the plant is not dead. She's going to have to. The first red she hits is going to have to play with some angle, and it's not guaranteed where it's going to go after that. But yeah, she's come out nicely though if she is playing that, and I mean I don't think she can play this red past the other one at all. I don't think
she's
there's any chance of that.
She's got a little bit of angle just to stop into that yellow near the black.
Yeah.
She should at least be able to get on the final red. It's just I don't think she'd be left in any sort of position to do anything with it.
That is a very good shot, and I think if she can just play this and cannon the...
I think it's too thin. I think it's too thin to be, unless she plays it with a serious amount of side.
If she can find the nice cannon here, she might just land on the black, but this is a very tough shot for the breaking dish. But
let's have a look.
she's caught it, but she caught it extremely thin, and
it needed a very thin snick and side to have any real hope of landing on the black in that.
yeah. So as it is, lots of tough yellows for Sophie, but you'd still have to fancy that.
Same old story, isn't it?
Yeah. With one red on the table, this becomes a tough frame for, barring a mistake, of course, becomes a tough frame for Naomi to clear out. But
I think maybe she feels she's found a bit more of a groove. It was a nice little clearance in the last frame. I'm pretty certain she'll try to bag this if I'm being honest, but even if she pots it, it's far from.
I think she has got the bag here.
Perfect. Once again.
I mean, if I was Naomi here, I don't know. I think there is still value to. I think if you drop this over the bag, you're red, and play the deliberate foul, then there's still enough tricky yellows that you'd hope to get back to the table. So she could do that, or just try and get it out into open play, and maybe get the black out in the same shot actually, to leave some, leave it available for herself should she come back to the table. But
yeah, there's nothing that's going to turn this game around tactically, so it's got to be worth asking the question.
Yeah, and she's just got it out, but the black is still very much tied up.
Yeah, I quite like that. Only gives Sophie one visit, gets rid of the problem pocket. Well, there's still the issue of the black going in there, but Sophie would be brave to go for any sort of clearance here.
Yeah,
so
absolutely.
Naomi's kept herself in this.
But I mean, it doesn't look like there's a very simple snooker on, so I think she's feels sort of forced into maybe potting this one over the pocket. But
yeah, it's basically just use that ball to set yourself up to eventually get into a position to play a snooker. She may even be able to retake that bag if she tops this one. She going for a plant here?
It looks like she's lining it up, yeah. And I mean, this is slightly risky, and if she misses, it might leave the black available into the bottom left corner as we look. But she's got it. No, she hasn't.
Well, that was a very brave shot to even attempt to
it was very brave
against a girl in this kind of form.
Yeah, because now the black is available, and so I reckon, with a great shot to the bottom right pocket as we look with some screw back or a bit of stun.
I don't think you've got the. Is there space to do that? I think she's going to have to play this into the middle, come round the angles, and hope that she plays it right.
Yeah. Well, she's tried to roll it in, but I mean, as it is, I can see a way in which Naomi might win this frame, whereas I couldn't a shot ago. So she's in a slightly better position now. But
it's reliant on a mistake, though, isn't it?
I'd still have to back Sophie for this frame and match.
I think she was playing the cannon there.
Yeah, it's not the best result. There's still a lot of shots she can play here. I think there is quite a fairly simple snooker on here. So. And that's a good shot.
Pot.
And
she might have to go for another plant.
Yeah, but if she gets this plant, then she's probably got a chance at the frame. It just depends on the angle between the two yellows, because if that yellow she's hitting sneaks in next,
tie itself up with a black.
Yeah, exactly. So she's got to avoid that if she plays the plant, and she hopes to clear at this visit. And she's missed the plant, but the black now goes pretty much to no pocket. So.
Is that plant on the yellow set? There is an argument here.
That plant on the yellows is definitely set, so these yellows are still clearable if Naomi puts Sophie back in here. And
lucky, she knew she had to try something to give herself something on that black. There was an argument for just dropping it in and pumping the black around the table. But you don't want that to be your last shot in a final, do you? You're just guessing on the black.
No.
I'd do it, but
Yeah, that was maybe the percentage option to just
yeah,
play for the fluke. But
it's not often we recommend just bashing balls around, but
No.
it might have been the only realistic option there.
So yeah, good. Oh, well, it's not dropped, but with that yellow going over the middle bag, they're all in lovely positions now just to drop these in.
I'd actually be tempted to take this one over the corner first, and I know it's the ball that's keeping the one red particularly safe, but this one that you just punted towards the pocket, take that, the yellow over the other one, drop this one into the middle, and then black into the pocket that the second yellow, as I've described it, would go in.
Yeah, it's just keeping position, doing it that way off the. You want to get on the last yellow to the middle nicely, so I can see why she's doing it this way, and that if she drops this in and stays on the one over the bag, then she can just play the last one over the top left. Oh well, I didn't think she'd play it that way, but
Well, going into the middle bag, you're sending the white flying, and certainly when you're one frame away from winning the title, the risk of her shot is.
Yeah, there were maybe a few ways she could have done that, but
It's both the best option and the option that you are more drawn towards. Can't blame her for doing that at all.
I mean, as it is, this is it's a very hard choice of shot here for Naomi. There's very little that can be done here to give yourself a nice chance, or to not leave your opponent a good chance. So she's played the red out, and I mean, that's not a bad position for the red. Like, I mean, to be honest, with all the three yellows over the bags, this should
The main
not
thing
be
is that
trouble.
yellow that is slightly trickier because it's hanging on that cushion.
Yeah.
I don't think is possible now,
No, it's not.
which means she will probably have to, and it's possible for position to go wrong off that.
Yeah,
It
certainly.
means she's either going to have to take that one last, or the red to this far corner last.
Yeah, because the natural way, I think, would be taking the yellow she's lining up now, then the one over that's dead over the pocket. But you don't, on that one, you don't want to finish straight on your last yellow or snooker yourself behind the black. So there is just a little bit of delicacy required here. But and she had more angle than that than I thought. And
I think she may have been playing to land herself on that slightly trickier yellow first, so that she could play the one over the pocket near the end.
yeah.
This, by the way, is no gimme, even with two shots.
No, that black doesn't go anywhere as it stands. So
I think she's just going to have to. I think it'd be silly to try doing anything than just put this in the middle, particularly
primary
with that big bag
objective.
looming
Yeah.
over in the top left corner.
You have to make sure you pot this red and do not foul as first priority, as long as you have your two on the black.
Drop it in and then maybe try and send the black towards.
Oh no, I would not. Ooh, that is extremely brave. I would not have had the guts to play it without some screw back or something. But as it is, she's carrying that yellow full ball and ended up okay. And she's played that fairly
That's a
quickly,
good
but
shot.
that has landed pretty nice.
It's not an easy pot, but if she misses it,
I think if she plays it nicely, just roughly down the rail, there's not much it can do other than drop in the bag with that yellow sitting there.
so even if she misses the pot, the black hangs there.
Yeah.
Sophie's in all sorts of trouble
I mean-
because you can't even play, I don't think, to that yellow that's directly over the bag because it goes in if you touch it.
So as long as she plays roughly the right line here, she's laughing. Great shot.
Beautiful. Use the big pocket.
And we really have a game. We have a final frame decider on our hand. And I mean, that is nerve shown from Naomi, but you have to say that was a real chance given to her with that in off.
Well, I think one of them has played a superb tactical game. The other one is just potting on fire at the moment.
Naomi's she's taken her chances when mistakes have been given.
You've got to admire someone who in the first final could come out and pot like this, but you've also got to admire a champion who, when in seeing someone, let's face it, queuing a lot better than her, is hanging in and has made herself favourite in most of the frames. It really has been a good clash, this.
And I mean, now in a final frame, it could come down to anything. You hope it doesn't come down to a ridiculous stroke of luck, but it has happened before in final frames in big tournaments. So. So that is a dry break. But the black and about 4 reds and a yellow have developed a rather nasty cluster around the middle of the table. So this doesn't look like a quick frame either, to be honest. But
well, from what we've seen so far, that suits Sophie.
yep.
I've still got it. We've seen actually Sophie has potted a couple of really good balls, just not with anything like the consistency that Naomi has. But tactically, Sophie's definitely got the edge in this encounter. Naomi's just pulling the same trick again. She is not frightened at all.
No, I thought she, a few shots ago, tried to land on the tough yellow in the cluster to the middle,
that
but
may sneak into the middle now.
she might be able to get it now. And
I'm pretty certain it does, you know.
but even then, this with the black where it is, I don't see a clearance here. I think this would be asking a bit much for most pro players. But
the yellow nearest to the black, so furthest left as we look, she needs to land on that in such a way as to get some sort of angle to maybe knock the black out or some sort of development on it.
But yeah, this is courage in a final frame, podding through all your balls like this.
Another cracking pot. And this yellow furthest away, I think, well, it's a horrendous looking pot, but I'd back her to pot it the way she's playing.
I mean, maybe she figures the way some of these frames have gone, she gets out in front, and even with the tactical advantage that Sophie's been able to develop in quite a few of the frames, you know, it's just pressure.
Yeah, she doesn't want to get it drawn out. Just try and force a situation, whether it be going for a clearance on her own, or at least trying to force Sophie into doing something and turning it into something of a potting contest.
Yeah.
Good pot. And I'm fairly certain she'll just dolly up to this red and play a nice little snooker.
Yeah,
can she just knock into that, bring the red out into the open, so it's towards this bottom
that'd be
left-hand
ideal.
pocket.
She could develop a couple of reds with the snooker here. Oh, she could play it down the line. So as it is, that's got the snooker, the pocket cover. That's a very good shot.
Yeah,
So I don't reckon Naomi will play an escape here. Well, unless she can.
I think she may be able to snick it.
Oh, well, she's miscued there. I think. I don't think she caught that correctly.
Even without the miscue, she wasn't playing it. Even if she'd hit the yellow, it would have been a cushion foul. The pace that she was looking to hit that at.
Yeah, but
the first real sign of nerves that she showed, her mistakes in this match have been more due to tactical naivety than
overexcitement.
Than nerves. She's played an absolutely superb match. I made Sophie massive favourite coming into this.
Yeah. I mean, it's no indictment at all on the male players at Sheffield Hallam, but it certainly has to be said that Naomi is the best player, male or female, at Sheffield Hallam. But she obviously plays in the women's competition here, but she is a very strong player.
Yeah, I know a couple of the Sheffield Hallam lads, and they're proud of the way she's played.
Yeah.
And it's good to see new universities setting up and coming to Great Yarmouth. It just makes this tournament even bigger and better every year.
Yeah, I think the first year I came, I think it had about 400 people, but it was only in the second year they got more and more people, and so had to expand into the games room and have expand the number of tables they had, and now this year it's again record numbers.
Pushing 700 something this
year,
year,
it's enormous. It's
madness. Sophie's not perfect here. This red obviously goes into the top right corner as we look at it, but it's a bit in offy. I think she may well just look to play the plant on the one near the black into the back that she has covered. She may even be able to see an open side of it. Oh no, she's just taking that ball out straight away. She's landed very nicely on this red, and possibly not quite as straight as she would have wanted. If she was bang straight, she could top through and then play the red that's nearest the black.
Yep.
As it is, she can still land on that red easily enough. It just might be slightly more awkward for her because she's coming into the bulk area.
Yeah, a very delicate stun shot to the bottom right corner here could achieve the right position on the red nearest the black, but it's not what she's playing. I think she had less angle than I thought.
There was a bit of angle. Yeah. She was able to drop that in. It's just, I think she's coming a little further away. If you bang straight, then you can be at exactly the distance you want. It's one of those strange things where if you feel like you're further away than you need to be, the pot looks harder.
She's got to watch this though. If the cue ball flicks the black, she might end up very close to her last red, assuming she pots this red here. But
great pot.
She's got some distance, so
it's wiped its feet.
She'll be okay. And if she plays the right position, I think the double is the shot here for the title. Is she even playing the pot?
The cut is very thin, and I think sends the white flying into the black.
But she's, I think she was going to play safe in some way, but she's opted for the cut. It looks like now. So. And
great
she's missed it. So must be said, a fairly tough chance for Naomi here, or at least under the circumstances tough, because I think she'll take this one down the rail and probably come back and may even play to the top middle, but no, she's cannoned this, so I think
she's going to play another double. She can't miss him.
The cross double for the win here would be winning in style, it must be said, but it probably wouldn't be the shot I'd take.
The way she's playing him, I'd back her every time.
So, I mean, you can leave a safety here. I think I'd probably try and just drop this red and this yellow near the middle and not leave the pot. But she's played the pot. She has. That is extremely.
Is it brave? Is it
brave?
Reckless?
Yeah. Well,
I'm not sure. She's definitely a crowd pleaser, isn't she? She doesn't. She plays some outrageous shots and gets most of them.
Well, this match is just about as close as it could possibly be. So that if this all goes right, it should be Sophie getting the title for a second year.
Getting on this. Yeah, getting on that black wasn't as easy as it looked.
Yeah, and this is not.
I'll tell you what, if you can cream this in, you deserve to win any title.
Yeah. So this is a tough black for the title, it must be said, but you're forced into just thinking about the pot here. There is no safety, or there is no element of safety whatsoever.
You just got to make sure you play it firm so you don't leave it over the bag if you miss.
So that's prompted some murmurs there, but
that is an absolutely awesome pot to win the title,
and that is a fantastic way to win. It must be said. That really is deserved. And
she goes over to her parents, first people to congratulate her, and what an awesome black to win the title. She was out-potted for most of that match, but her tactics were superb. She kept herself in it, pulled out a couple of big pots when necessary.
Yeah, and that final
great champion.
Yeah.